James suddenly lost contact for many days, making everyone worried. While searching, Diep suddenly discovered that James's father was acting strangely and decided to secretly follow him. The car led Diep to a remote forest, where she witnessed a scene that made her heart ache. James's father was being forced by a bad guy to sign a paper to transfer the company's name. Just when everything seemed to be over, an unexpected incident happened, putting both Diep and James's father in danger. James had been missing for days. His phone was off, and no one was answering his messages. The house suddenly felt empty, and each meal was filled with sighs for Diep and Nhi. Every night, Diep tossed and turned, his eyes dark, only one question ringing in his head: where is James? That morning, unable to bear it any longer, Diep went to see James's father. In the quiet guest house, James's father sat still, his eyes filled with 1,000 thoughts. Diep asked with a trembling voice, "Uncle, do you have any news about James? I called him but couldn't get through." James's father was silent for a long time, his hands clasped together, sweat beading on his forehead. Finally, he said simply, "You go home. I'll take care of everything." The casual answer made Diep even more uneasy. She walked out of the house but still looked back, saw James's father hastily took the car keys and left. Feeling something was wrong, Diep decided to take the risk. She quietly crawled into the trunk of the car, held her breath and lay down so as not to be discovered. The car rolled on. The further they went, the more deserted the road became, with only endless forests on both sides. Diep's heart was pounding, cold sweat running down his back. In Diep's mind, he thought, is this related to James? After nearly an hour, the car stopped in a remote forest. The air was humid, the wind whistled through the treetops, making a creepy sound. Diep crept out of the car, following James's father's every step. He had no idea that Diep was silently following behind. The sound of dry leaves rustling under his feet. His figure walked into a secluded forest. Ahead, 3 strange men were waiting. One of them stepped forward, his voice deep and threatening. "You're here? Good. Where are your papers?" James's father pursed his lips, his voice hoarse. "I want to make sure my son is still alive before signing." The other guy chuckled, pulled out his phone, and held the screen in front of him. On it was James, his hands tied, standing in another part of the forest. "You sign, we release him. Don't make things worse." Hiding behind the tree, Diep held her breath, tears welling up. Her whole body trembled, but she still took out her phone, recording the scene before her eyes while dialing the police number. Whispering in fear, "Hello? I'm in the forest near the highway. Someone is kidnapping me, forcing me to sign the company transfer papers. Please come quickly." The other end of the line promised to send someone right away. But the situation was getting more and more tense. James's father stood still for a long time. Finally, with a trembling hand, he picked up the pen and signed the papers. Another guy sneered, snatching the paper. "Good, you can go. We'll release your son." Having finished speaking, James's father was about to leave when suddenly a man with a stick rushed to hit James's father. Diep witnessed it, couldn't bear it anymore, shouted, "Stop, don't hurt him." She rushed out from the bushes, tears in her eyes. They turned around, stunned for a moment, then shouted, "Where did this girl come from? Catch her." A man rushed over and hit Diep with a stick. She fell to the ground. At this moment, James arrived in time. He and his father helped Diep up. The siren sounded from afar, echoing through the quiet forest. Everywhere, Hurried footsteps echoed. The kidnappers had not yet escaped when the police arrived and arrested them. James's father was pulled out safely. His face was serious but not injured. As for Diep, her face was pale. The long scratch on her arm was still there. The police quickly subdued the entire group of kidnappers. At this time, James was also rescued, his face haggard but his eyes full of determination. He rushed forward and hugged Diep. "You're injured. Who sent you here?" Diep gasped and said slowly, "I can't sit still. If I hadn't called the police, maybe things would have been different today." When they got home, Diep was taken to his room to rest, and James sat across from his father, his face full of anger. Why did you let Diep rush into such danger? What if something happened to her? James's father said sternly, "I didn't let her come with me. I didn't even know Diep was there until she rushed out to save me." The atmosphere was tense. James's father pondered for a moment, then sighed, "I know I was wrong. But thanks to Diep calling the police, we escaped today. I owe her a favor." James took a deep breath, controlled his anger, then picked up the phone to call the doctor to come to the house to check on Diep. A few minutes later, the doctor arrived. He gently examined and disinfected the wound on Diep's hand, examined her whole body, and then said, "She only has minor injuries but is showing signs of fatigue and needs to rest completely for a few days." James sat beside the bed, holding Diep's hand tightly. "You heard me. From now on, don't do such dangerous things again. I don't want to have to find you in a situation like today again." Diep smiled weakly and nodded. The atmosphere in the room gradually calmed down, but both James and his father understood this was just the beginning. The people behind this kidnapping might not be revealed yet.